Welcome, foolish mortals, to Count Gauntly's Horrors from the Public Domain. I am your host, Count Simon Gauntly, and each episode I'll be leading you on a journey through the history of film. Specifically, we'll be exploring that eldritch abyss known as the public domain. These are films forgotten by time or abandoned by their creators. The strange, the horrifying, the poorly and cheaply produced. All of these are the purviews of the public domain. So what are we waiting for? Come, join me in my crypt. It's bigger on the inside. Come, join me.
There lived a man so long ago, Count Gauntly was his name. His horror host abilities had brought him wide acclaim. The people flocked from miles around each Gauntly movie night, not knowing that the films he showed infringed on copyright. Upon discovering this fact and learning it was true, an angry mob of lawyers formed with pitchforks, torches too. They tracked the Count and sought to stop his movie hosting ways, and torches blazing put an end to Gauntly's earthly days. But our man was too resilient to let death be the last word. He sat up upon his slab and vowed he must be heard. So he stocked his tomb with gadgets from the local studio, intent on showing movies on an awesome TV show. But he had to find a legal way, so Gauntly racked his brain. 'Twas then he learned of something called the public domain. Now here he is, the time has come, his dreams are coming true. Count Gauntly's here to share a film in hopes that you won't sue.
I still can't believe it.
Come on, Barbara. You got an A.
Yeah, but I still missed some critical points on the essay section. What'd you get?
I got a C, but it's whatever.
Whatever? What do you mean, whatever?
Well, I mean, it's not like history matters anyway. Who gives a crap about a bunch of old dead guys that lived God knows how long ago?
Oh, how can you say that? We have our founding fathers to thank for this country. You know, we could use their help now more than ever.
Okay.
But look, Ben, it's George Washington. Maybe he can teach you something about the value of history.
It's just a colonial reenactor, and like the worst one I've ever seen.
Come on, play along. Salutations, General.
Whoa! Get off! God!
Ben?
It wasn't my fault.
What are we gonna do now?
I have an idea. Yeah, babe. Can you get George? All right. Good, President. Good, President. There we go. All right.
We just killed him. I hope that worked.
It will work. Everything will be okay, all right? Did you hear that?
Oh my God!
Oh, shh!
What is going on?
Oh, looks like you got your wish. History's coming to life. Come on, let's go. Come on. Oh, in here.
That was like the worst place in the world.
Oh, come on, someplace.
Okay. What is this place?
Greetings!
Hello? Who are you?
I am Harry Cooper, political analyst and pundit.
Wait, so do you know what's going on?
I'm a political analyst. I know everything about what's going on. It is my considered opinion that these patriotic ghouls have arisen due to recent increases in the prices of stamps, teas, and certain other staple crops such as sorghum and molasses. I believe it is their intention to march on Washington from whence to rule the nation with a rotting iron fist.
That's awful. Isn't there any way we can stop them? Kill them for good?
Kill them for good. Find a way to destroy the brain. A powerful blow or a gunshot to the head should do the trick. That's how I finished off old Betsy Ross here.
Betsy Ross may not have been a president or anything, but she was still pivotal to our nation's history, and I won't let you murder her!
Barbara, don't you see? These guys may have been important in the past, but if we don't kill what they've become, we won't have a future. It's our time now. And it's our responsibility to make sure we have our own history. So please, take this and make history. Kill her! Kill her!
I've been infected. You two have to go now.
I'm so sorry I had to end this way.
It's all right. I'm just glad I could offer some valuable exposition before I died.
Come on.
Stay back! Oh, thanks. They're not vampires.
Cower, foul beasts, fear the fiery vengeance of George Washington. Ben, Barbara, are you all right?
How do you know our names?
Because you two saved me.
No, we killed you.
No, Ben, you saved me. You saved me from my accursed undeath. The scientist has restored me to my former glory. Plus, now I have an arm cannon. Barbara, you deserve special thanks. You honored your founding fathers, but still brought yourself to do what was right. Remember, both of you, value your history, but do not become consumed by it. It will devour you. Now, I have some more zombies to kill.
Wait! How can we be sure this won't happen again?
When this plague subsides, I will take a seat in the legislature. Thus, Congress will have one more eloquent voice for lower taxes. Now, farewell, amigos.
You know, history is pretty cool.
Told you so.
Do you think we'll have school tomorrow?
It started out like any other day in the city. For though it lacks the skyscrapers and urban sprawl one might expect, Williamsburg has the heart of the city. My name is Willis Slade, and I'm the one keeping that heart beating. It isn't always easy. Now, as I say, it was a day like any other, until he knocked at my door. Come in.
You are Will Slade, correct? The name's Mac Pickens, CEO Jolly Rogers Amusements.
Take a seat, Mr. Pickens. What seems to be the trouble?
Well, it's a bit of a delicate matter.
I'm listening.
My associates and I have recently lost possession of an object of considerable historic and intrinsic value. We believe it's been stolen. It has come to my attention, Mr. Slade, that you're particularly skilled at recovering such objects.
Any specific reason you didn't go to the cops first?
The object represents a considerable investment on the part of my company. The star power commanded by the object alone stands to double our revenues. If word got out that it was somewhere on the streets, my competitors would stop at nothing to acquire it.
Or maybe you yourself acquired it by means not completely legal?
Ah, well, I see what they say, Mr. Slade. Nothing gets past you.
Let's cut the flattery. Any chance you can tell me what I'm supposed to be looking for?
Unfortunately, I can't let you know the exact nature of the object at this time. Like I said, it's best our competitors don't know what the object is, or the fact that it's gone missing.
So I'm supposed to find an object I know nothing about, and about which you're refusing to tell me anything.
I understand your concerns, Mr. Slade, but maybe this will help point you on your way. You'll pardon me for not lingering.
Not so fast. I haven't agreed to go after this thing yet, whatever it is. Why is it so important?
I tell you, it's imperative that you recover the object, Mr. Slade. It's intricately tied not only to the fate of my organization, but the fate of the city itself. Retrieve the object, Mr. Slade, and you single-handedly change the face of Williamsburg itself.
Hey, wait a minute. We haven't discussed the issue of payment.
Believe me, there's more where that came from. Oh, and Slade, good luck. We're counting on you. The city is counting on you.
Mac Pickens hadn't left me much to go on. I needed some answers. I found a match. The symbol I'd observed in my research was identical to that, emblazoned on the medallion adorning the neck of one Miss Tracy Teach. Tracy was a graduate student, working toward a doctorate in history. Time and again, she would clue me in on the historical context of a case.
Oh, come on in.
Sorry to intrude. Going somewhere?
No, not exactly. I've just been doing a lot of research lately.
I know the feeling.
So, Slade, what brings you here? Another case got you stumped.
Actually, I am looking into something I thought you might be able to help me with. I was wondering what you could tell me about this.
Well, the coin looks to be English, probably dating from around the early 1700s, but as for the symbol, I can't say I've ever seen it before.
Really? Because I have. And so have you, assuming you've ever looked at that silver piece around your neck. Now, I'd appreciate it if you tell me what you really know.
Why should I? You can't just come in here and interrogate me.
Tracy, look. I've been charged with recovering an object. I don't know what it is yet, but I have some theme park executives who want it back pretty badly. They gave me this gold coin and said it would point me in the right direction. Now I'm asking you. Tell me what you know about the symbol.
Well, I can't help you. I wish I could, but I can't.
You're certain? Well, if you really can't help me, I'll have to take matters into my own hand. It's in there, isn't it? The thing they're after.
I can't,
Oh.
You can't give it back to them.
What is it?
I can't tell you.
Well, if you can't tell me, maybe I'll take it to Mac Pickens, and he can tell me something about it.
Fine. Now that you've seen it, you might as well know the truth.
In the early decades of the 1700s, piracy was rampant along the colonial American coastline, from the mid-Atlantic all the way to the Caribbean. What history does not yet know is this. King William III of England devised a plan to minimize British losses due to piracy. He issued a secret decree that the Virginian city which bore his name was to serve as a testing ground for a new policy. Williamsburg would harbor pirates and allow them to come and go without fear of persecution. Following his defeat in 1718, the notorious Blackbeard's head was severed and presented to Governor Spotswood of Virginia. Sometime later, Blackbeard's skull was smuggled back to Williamsburg, where a pirate cell still held strong under the protection provided by William's policies, now honored in secret by the city's landowners.
The pirates cast the skull in silver and imprinted in the bone the coat of arms of their benefactor, William III. Even today, descendants of that pirate cell endure in the form of a secret society, the Brotherhood of the Silver Skull. And members of the Brotherhood will do anything to keep their secret safe.
That's heavy. Wait. The Brotherhood is so dedicated to keeping this a secret. How do you know?
I think you'll find I'm quite well acquainted with the inner workings of the Brotherhood. You see, I lead it. I'm a direct descendant of Edward Teach, the man known to the world as Blackbeard. 3 weeks ago, a Brotherhood defector sold the skull to that fool, Mac Pickens, and it was all I could do to track it down and steal it back. Those amusement park hucksters want to make a quick buck by exploiting our heritage. With the skull in their collection and Williamsburg's true history revealed, they turn the whole city into one massive pirate theme park. The city would be even more of a tourist trap than it already is. I won't allow that to happen. So, if you'll be a good boy and hand me back my great-great-grandfather's skull, and maybe promise not to tell anyone what you've seen or heard today, maybe I won't kill you.
How generous. But I have a job to do, so I think I'll take the skull to go.
I'd been thinking, maybe going public with this whole dark past thing
wasn't necessarily the best course of action. Maybe the city was fine the way it was. I just run through crowds of people. Tracy would have said they were just tourists, being fed a false, sugar-coated history, while it was within my power to give them the truth. But perhaps withholding the truth was not altogether a bad idea. This city is a place of patriotism, of inspiration, a place where children can come and dream of creating a brighter future. And if the truth destroys that, then isn't it better to preserve the myth?
Here we are. I hope you still have your sea legs, Captain. Bon voyage.
And that's the story of how I almost rewrote the history books and single-handedly changed the reputation of the entire city. I returned empty-handed to Mac Pickens, and though I didn't get paid, he didn't ask too many questions. As for the skull itself, you might wonder, isn't it a shame, though? Casting away the discovery of a century just like that? Well, I wouldn't worry. I know for a fact the city's got plenty left to discover.
You want to have a unique musical voice. And I think the reason why is because when you're especially playing in front of a live audience, you want to give them a unique experience. So as a musician, you want to contribute to people's experiences, you want to contribute to the kind of the music world in general, and it gives you a sense of satisfaction. Some of us want to keep this in our culture, and it's something we can do here in Williamsburg. And with the harmonica, in a sense, I keep the glass harmonica in the 21st century culture, at least the folks that come here. We want to express ourselves, And one of the ways you can do this is you find sounds and instruments that allow you to express the musician within. And certainly the harmonica and these others have allowed me to do this. And it may be a way that I couldn't without the glass instruments. The harmonica was really what kind of opened my eyes to the possibility of glass instruments. And then once you get into playing glass instruments, you meet other glass musicians and glass artists who want to try things. Ideas come up. We started talking about making glass bells, so glass bells came along. Pushing the envelope with some of these things, because in some cases these are the only instruments that exist. This is why, for one example, the bells are so far back on the stage, because I know that one day when I'm going to strike one of those bells, it's just going to shatter. It's going to go all over the stage. Whether I consider myself a glass musician first, I'm not so sure, because I do write music too, and I play. There's still, I still have a wooden violin that I play all the time and play piano. But I certainly enjoy being a glass musician. I don't mind being thought of that way. Do I think of myself that way? I think of myself in part that way. There are only 2 glass violins that I know of. They made that one as the first one, and then they made one more afterwards. But what I realize is the fact that people are just in awe that here's a hand-blown glass violin that actually plays. I mean, that alone is worth seeing and hearing. So I wrote a piece of music that I hope shows some of the better qualities of the instrument. The instrument that I'm most comfortable with in my hands is the violin, because I took so many years of studying violin, but now I'm doing it in glass. The one I'm maybe most excited about is the crystal bachet, because it's an instrument that can do so many things. It really does feel like the action of the violin bow, because the glasses are meant to kind of bend a little bit. It was kind of an adventure a little bit, to try something that different and a challenge. And I didn't really know where it was going to lead. I didn't know what the audience response would be. But I didn't want my concerts just to be trying to sound as close as I can to something else they've already heard. What drives me to keep all of it going at the same time is I realized I need it. I need to have the performances to work towards. I'm not one of those musicians that could just sit around and play at home, because I do think of music as communication. So I realize if I'm just learning it for my own ability, there's some satisfaction to that, but that's what drives me. I think with glass instruments, it's uncharted territory, and I think that somebody should be out there finding out what we can do with it. And I don't want to miss out on that chance.
Hey there, kids. Welcome to a brand new glorious day. Isn't it great to live in this wondrous nation? Today, in this edutaining video presentation, we'll be exploring all the ways that you can express your love for our glorious leader and expand the majesty of his empire. Hey, Johnny. What's wrong?
Well, gee, Gary, I want to love our glorious leader as much as I possibly can. But how do I do it?
Well, Johnny, I'm glad you asked that. You see, the leader is the source of all that is good in this life, and if you praise him, you will be rewarded. Just look at this televisual demonstration to see what I mean.
First, remember to give thanks to the leader every night. Next, cast several long, loving glances at the leader. Third, go to sleep. Sleep until the morning. The experience should prove restful and pleasant. If you followed the previous steps, the leader's love for you will manifest itself in surprising ways. That's some grade A leader love, citizen.
Wow, Gary, you're right. Praising the leader just doubled my sugar ration.
And how?
But Gary, I have a friend who doesn't love the leader. I think he might just like the leader.
Johnny, that's foolish. You shouldn't keep such friends. But if you or anyone else out there does have any doubts, well then just remember.
The grim specter of capitalism once haunted this land. But the glorious leader brandished his mighty blade and slew the foul beast. It would no longer scourge our great nation.
Wowee, Gary. That makes me love the leader even more. He's so great.
Spot on, Johnny. He's like nobody else. Nobody's that good. Not even me.
Not even you?
Hard to believe, but true. And the only thing that can add to his glory is the love of all his subjects.
Even me? But I'm so young.
Yes, Johnny, even you. The leader needs the love of everyone, from the oldest to the youngest.
Oh, Gary, I love the leader.
As well you should, Johnny. As well you should. But true. Who? Johnny. Gary. Hard to believe, but true. Johnny. Gary. Hard to believe, but true. Hard to believe, but true.
Glorious leader. Glorious leader. Glorious leader. Capitalism.
Okay.
Ready?
Are we doing that?
I think that's what our
I'm pretty ready for that. That'll be our credits.
Throughout the centuries, man has sought meaning. He has taken many paths in this journey. One such venue is art. What is art? Who is art? Come with us now on a journey as we explore art. I shall be an art explorer, and you shall
be my fellow explorer.
We're gonna take it. We're gonna take it all the way. We're gonna go farther than we've ever gone before. And it's going to be magnificent.
But where do we find something so transient as art? How do we pinpoint something so unknown? Is it somewhere, or is it somewhen? Should we be looking in the present, or should we be looking in the past, or maybe in the future? How are we to find what we seek?
Art is the history of the being of the soul. One must know how to express thyself. One must know individuality is the key to the universe. He who can unlock such potential can breathe life into effervescent vessels. Vessels who can express such desire that can control every other being in the entire world. That who can do thine bidding, that can control all else, knows that art is the key to everyone's soul. The soul is which man desires most. Art unlocks the potential of a human being. Art creates everything that is a man. Art is the complete essence of a soul. Express thyself through image, through moving, through literature, through film. Art is the freedom of the human soul. Art is the freedom that unlocks the potential of every living thing. Art is individuality. Art is everything. Art cannot be contained.
Art holds many truths, but our search goes on. The ultimate truth lies ahead.
Yes, the search for meaning, the meaning of art, and the meaning of the mind.
The meaning of the mind, the journey through the mind, the meaning of the truth of the meaning of
The journey of the madness of the meaning of the madness of the journey of the meaning of the meaning of the mind
of the ballet of the heart of the business of the being of the being of the meaning of the art.
Okay, let's track now. Let's go forward. You go forward. We're going to go through the door. We're going to go forward until we get to a wall or a TV or something.
Cow, man, meat. That is the universe.
As I sit here today broadcasting to you from the Teletronic Hyperdome, hovering over our great cyber city, it's easy to forget our humble origins. We must not forget our hometown, Earth. History. Humanity dwelt on a primordial supercontinent called America. It was ruled by beings known as cowboys, rugged, brusque men who tamed the wilds and drank hard and long. Cuisine. Research indicates that people ate 3 meals a day. Bleckist, Munch, and Dibbler. Foods which now grow themselves actually had to be prepared by would-be diners through a process known as cooking. This was accomplished by exposing organic matter to flame. We believe it looked something like this. Science.
In their boundless ingenuity, humans created countless technological innovations. Before we eliminated the need to poop and pee, we devised an intriguing electromatic approach to this, delicate matter. Space exploration. As we all know, our drive to explore and create eventually took us beyond the bounds of hometown Earth. Later, the development of the transflagrating morph warp shift drive took us still further into the celestial bosom. We journeyed to a world which would become our new home, but it would only be possible thanks to those movers and shakers of the Earth.
Now you know all you need to connect with your terrestrial heritage. Yes, while it was long ago and far away, you can still be a part of your hometown, Earth.
So what did you think?
Gee whiz, it sure sounds like the Earth was a swell place.
It sure was, and we are all a part of its great legacy.
Wow, there are so many possibilities. I could be a cowboy, a scientist, a dancer. You know, I've been looking for something to do with my life.
It's thinking like that got you sent to this re-education facility in the first place.
Aw, man.
Now, young man, all of the possibilities of Earth were made possible by its abundant natural resources. Here, on planet Malkazar, resources are scarce, and the only way to renew the cultural wealth of Earth is by working in the mines. You have a job to do.
But...
Now, back to the mines!
And let me ask you something. Just a question here. Do you suppose that before the Second World War, before the USA became involved, that the English were like, now you know, USA, weren't you already in the World War? Didn't you already win the World War? If we let you into this one, wouldn't this just be the same as World War I? Maybe you should sit this one out, and we'll give you a call before World War III. Well, now I'm back. And it is World War III! And for any of those of you out there who might think you can stand in my way, let me tell you that I have a score of 15 million on Facebook Tetris, so let that sink in for a second. And now I know that my bespectacled countenance and my general exterior doesn't necessarily scream, ravish me. But let me assure you that my torso is quite glorious. You'll see it in a second, I promise. I've got this trunk here. People see the trunk and they freak out. They say, oh, you've got props. You're just like Carrot Top. I say, no, wait. I'm nothing like Carrot Top. Well, yeah, I guess I've got the props, but, Carrot Top is an ugly weirdo. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm kind of like Carrot Top. Now, moving on to the cartoon. Oh, one of my great passions in life is attending yard sales. yard sailing, if you will. I am a yard sailor. I'm not actually sure how topical this joke is going to be because I'm not really a sports guy. But I'll just go ahead with it. One object that I discovered in one of my journeys is my Vic in the box. I don't know how I can really hear this, but we're going to try here. The answer is you probably can't hear it at all, but it plays the national anthem instead of Pop Goes the Weasel. Now, let's see if it'll favor me with an appearance here. There you have it. God bless America. I've got an energy drink-based joke. I don't know how many of those are out there. But on one of my excursions to Big Lots, I discovered a can of Sin energy drink. This one, it's actually a line of energy drinks because it advises me to try all 7 deadly flavors. This can is greed flavored, and greed apparently tastes of lemons. I'm not exactly sure how you would make an entire line based on the 7 deadly sins because, while there may be some people who would be into a lust energy drink, I can't imagine a sloth energy drink selling particularly well. Now, I actually asked for this special from the Sin Company, and they also sent me a shipment of Diet Sin. Let this sink in for a second, because you are drinking Diet Sin. You are willing to violate the commandment of the Lord God Almighty and risk the possibility of eternal damnation, but you are not willing to ingest 80 calories worth of sugar. Diet Sin, everyone. Occasionally, a different joke here. I recently won an iPad in a contest, which was very fortuitous. And I am very behind the times usually as far as technology goes. Like, there are people who complain that the PS3 doesn't play PS2 games. I'm still upset that the Game Boy Advance SP didn't play original Game Boy games. Now, that's just a personal vendetta, but not really relevant to the joke, which is that I pulled out this gleaming new, this halcyon piece of cutting-edge technology, and I turned it on, and let me tell you, I had never Skyped before. I've never used a web camera. But I turn this on, and it's my face in the box because of this camera that is in the front of it. And I hold it up before myself, and I press a button in the corner, and the camera pivots. And I can see out the back of the iPad. And I swap back and forth, looking at my wall, looking at my face. And I realized I could see anything in this. It's like a magic mirror. And I hold it before me, and I say, "Show me the beast." So if anyone has the beast's Skype information, I would be very interested to know it. Every once in a while, I'll find myself in a social situation where I won't really know what I'm supposed to do, because in case you can't really tell, I'm not very socially adapted. And, big surprise. But I was in a store, a purveyor of novelties, and I came upon this, a candy bra. Now, I was baffled by this piece of apparel, what really struck me was, how is one supposed to consume a candy bra whilst one is wearing it? I devoted several weeks of intense thought to this conundrum before I realized you are in fact supposed to put it on another person. Let's see what else I got here. People realize that just all the coolest things are far too phallic. To such an extent that none of my pickup lines will work. I go on these journeys out into the world, and I bring back these exquisite treasures, and I can't share them with anyone of the female persuasion because it sounds dirty. For instance, I can't say, hey baby, would you like to come back to my room and see my broadsword? I have a broadsword! I can't share that. Or, you want to see my 6-foot rattlesnake? I have a 6-foot rattlesnake mounted on the wall. I can't share it with anyone. Now, don't know quite how I'm running out of time, but I know I've been dragged off the stage before, so I'll try to keep it, short. Okay, 2-piece. I share your sentiment. I will try to be concise in my last couple jokes here. Here's a bit, just some life lessons here. Like all the aspects of my life philosophy, this one is based on a bad movie. Particularly, this one comes from Jaws 4: The Revenge. For those of you whose cinephilic knowledge is not far enough advanced for you to have witnessed this particular cinematic masterpiece, Jaws 4: The Revenge is not very good. But this one quote has always stuck with me. There's this character, a black guy. I don't know where he's from, if it's specified, Trinidadian, Barbadian, Jamaican, I'm not sure. He's an ambiguously tropical black guy. Now, what he says, that's always stuck with me, he tells the protagonist why his people always wear such loud and vibrant shirts. And I realized, I've always worn these shirts, but I've never known why until this man explained it to me. And he says, we have a saying here in may your sex life be as busy as your shirt. And so that's always been a goal for me. But I think it's going to be pretty hard because my shirt is pretty awesome. And again, you can't see this very well in the dark. Can people witness this masterpiece? In fact, flickers according to audio. And sometimes I have to shout around my pants because and I'll try to do this in as best way as I can. Six-pack here. I know you could punch me, and I think I would probably be alright. But, so I'm going to just give this an attempt here. Sent me a free t-shirt with my order. So, which person want to come up here and take a bite? Free t-shirt? See me after the show.
This is fun. Hi, I'm Brian Terrill, and because you can only make one first impression, you only got one chance, I am going to start with a classic. It is the Ode to Joy from Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, in the original German. Sorry, just a second. Just a warning, is that there's no guarantee I'm going to hit the lowest note because I got a tie on.